I can almost guarantee you that you're working too hard. I mean it. And we're going to talk about how people like myself could be outperforming you doing 80% less work than you're doing. It's no scam. It's no gimmick. It's not magic. It's just one simple principle. And we're going to talk about it.
Podcast.
My name is Dion Williams, a.k.a. Dion Does, and I truly believe that we were all created in the image of the ultimate creator, and therefore it's in us all to create. And this show aims to help you and I both level up in this four-dimensional game of life so that we can go out and create for good, whether that's for ourselves, our family, the community around us, but all of this a part of a generational vision of a family of creators coming together to be the difference. Creator family, welcome back. I hope you guys are blessed. I hope you guys are staying safe. And I hope you guys are making the Creator Podcast part of your daily routine. I know a lot of you guys rock with it in the morning to start your day. Some of you guys end your day with it. I don't know that it makes too much of a difference, but get it in every day. And make sure you're not just listening, but you're also always taking action, putting some feet to it at the end. I appreciate your guys' support across all 50-plus countries rocking with the Creator Podcast. Today, I got something from Mr. Wilfredo Pareto, and it's called the Pareto's Principle. And we're gonna open up with a quote from him, which actually just explains the principle right out to you. It says, for many events, roughly 80% of the effects come from 20% of the causes. Oh my Lord. When I started to learn this, it reshaped the way I looked at life. Now, there's certain things that, like, when you learn, like, ooh, that's good. And it's like a little tweak. It's a little shift. When this was explained to me and I really started to understand it and I tried it, like, this is something you could add to your life and start to see differences in a day, in weeks. Like, it doesn't take long. This isn't something you got to be patient for. Like, you can see immediate effects. Even just when I start to explain it, you're going to just see, like, the world. I almost, like, imagine, like, taking shades off, taking glasses off or something, and being able to see the world. You know what? It's almost like, I would imagine, I've never had bad eyes, but like putting glasses on and getting to see things clearly. All right? So let's run it back one more time. For many events, roughly 80% of the effects come from 20% of the causes. So what does that mean? That means most of what you're achieving is coming. So the majority of what you're achieving is coming from the minority of your efforts, right? Let's get really practical with it. 80% of your weight loss is coming from 20% of the effort that you are putting towards it, right? What does that mean, right? As we talk about execution, maybe you are going to the gym, you're taking supplements, you are maybe you're lifting weights, you're doing cardio, you are taking supplements, you are reading books and blogs and all this stuff, and you are on a diet, right? So I just listed like 5 different things right there. And you're like, oh man, this weight is really falling off. And I shared something like this in a previous podcast. I was kind of going through stuff like that. I was trying to do everything I could. And then I just went on this thing called a Daniel fast, where I just had to eat fruits and vegetables, and I lost 30 pounds in 21 days. I didn't go to the gym once because I was a lot weaker. You know, I wasn't eating as much as I like, even though I was eating fruits and vegetables, I was even just eating less too. So most days I couldn't have like really went to the gym. I would listen to sermons. I would listen to a lot of Miles Monroe, by the way. He passed away not too long ago, but I would listen to Miles Monroe and I would like walk around my block. So I would get a little bit of cardio. And it wasn't like I was like weak and I couldn't exist. I just, I couldn't like go to the gym and put up a lot of weight or run and stuff like that. And I had never lost weight like that. Never. And it came from just changing how I was eating. I didn't have to change my day around. I didn't have to go to the gym for hours. Like, I was going to the gym for like 2 hours, 2.5 hours sometimes. And then I would just fluff it up by messing up my diet or something. And I couldn't get things to happen. But that one switch, which was literally 20% of the effort, I needed to spend no extra time in it, no extra money. I was actually saving money, eating less and eating out, right? All the time, just eating fruits and vegetables. And it was very simple. What are some other methods? 80% of your stress can be coming from 20% of what's going on in your life. Right? You may be really, really stressed right now, but it's not like your whole world is crashing down. Sometimes it feels like that, right? But it's just 20% of what's going on in your life. And it's not exactly 80-20, right? The point that I want you to get is that the majority is impacted by the minority. Sometimes you just got to cut out 20% of the stuff, and that'll make all of the difference. 80% of the love and satisfaction that your partner feels in your relationship is coming from 20% of what you're doing. So you should probably figure out what that 20% is and double down on that. And I gave you some help. In a previous episode, we talked about the 5 love languages. You could be all over the place, right? And there's 5 of them. Then that could be 20%, right? It's just one of them, the thing that's really causing the most impact in that relationship. And you worried about doing all of them. And it's like, man, if you just would spend some quality time, your relationship would transform. When I really started to learn this, right, I was a lot younger. I was doing network marketing still. And this was explained to me. And I thought about it for a little bit. And I was like, man, you are right. I said, okay. So I looked at my day. I said, okay, 80% of the money I'm making comes from like 20% of my efforts. Like, I'm doing a lot of things that make me feel busy. Like, I'll read a lot of emails. I was signed up to a lot of newsletters, and I would learn that I got, okay. And then, like, as I learned this, it applied to, even if I zoomed in on certain areas, it made even more sense. So, like, as a whole, 80% of what I was making was coming from 20% of what I was doing. So I was like spending extra time on emails. But then when I looked at my emails, only 20% of the emails that I was going through and reading and replying to actually mattered. And then I looked at all the stuff that I was learning. About 20% of what I was learning was actually what was creating the impact and the change in my life that I wanted, right? I was learning a lot of random stuff I didn't need to learn. And then I looked at I looked in even deeper at the money I was making. And this is when I was in this network marketing company, which is funny. They're actually not around now. They went out of business. And a funny side note, like the one of the owner or the co-founders is like a hippie now. He's like in the woods making like random weird videos. I think he's on hard drugs. But it was like a big company at one time, and I was looking at the money I was making in that. 80% of it was coming from 20% of like the products I was selling. There was like some higher ticket products, and I could get commissions up to $5,000. And then there was like smaller ones. There was like a $20 one. There was like a $100 one. There was like smaller ones, and I was always spending my time on the smaller ones because they were continuity. But I really wasn't able to sell those as well. And like even when I did, I couldn't get people to like stay on it. But I would get like the big ones every now and then, and that would be more than enough, especially back then, man. The $5,000, there was $5,000 and $3,000 commissions. And when I would sell those, it would be enough to like a couple of those I'd be straight. And so I doubled down I just started focusing on those, and it transformed my success in that. Even fast forward, I work with a lot of content creators, and I'll look at them with their channel. A lot of people are doing so many different videos, for example, on a YouTube channel, and we'll look at their channel. We're like, all right, where are most of the views coming from? Oh, it's a certain series that's maybe 20% of the videos that they're producing are creating 80% of the views. But it's so simple as I'm explaining it, but for whatever reason, it's so easy for us to look over it. and not understand the Pareto principle, which is for many events, roughly 80% of the effects comes from 20% of the causes. And so as it's time to put some feet to it, it's very, very simple. Let's not complicate it, people. All right, as we're putting feet to it, this is the part of the podcast where we put it in motion. We take some action on it. I want you to pull out your creator frame. Look at your faith, relationships, energy, and economics. These are the 4 dimensions of this game that we call life. And just ask yourself this question. All right, maybe you have something that you're trying to do in a relationship, or you have a relationship that's important to you. All right, apply the Pareto's principle to it, kind of like we shared. Okay, maybe you are trying to start a business. Maybe you have a business. Look at it. Often 80% of your income could come from like 20% of your clients. I've seen people like that have a lot of big ticket clients, or a certain type of client. And if they were to just cut off the rest and double down and focus on those, they could explode I've seen it happen. They've exploded their business almost overnight by focusing on the 20% that matters. Okay? And that is the game. When you learn to cut off the fat, trim the fat, and surround your day. And there's 2 things that you can do with it. You can either shorten your days drastically, because you stop wasting time on the 80%. If you have the finances and the budget to maybe start outsourcing or delegating things to your team, start having them do a lot of the 80%, and you focus on the 20 that matters. It's going to move the needle forward the most. Okay, and you can shorten your day, or you can just expand on it, right? Like, let's say I was spending my whole day, and we're going back to the network marketing example. Instead of 100% of my day going to I have 80% of it going towards selling the small ticket and 20% going to the big ticket. I could just save all of that time and don't even worry about the small ticket and have shorter days. Or I could have the same amount of days, but I'm only focusing on that 20%, right? Only focusing on the big ticket and scale things exponentially. Okay? So I want you guys to put your Sherlock Holmes outfit on, get curious, and just start waving Pareto's principle over your entire life. Just see where your time, energy, and finances are going and say, hold up, where is the overkill? Where am I doing too much? And oh my Lord, once you get this in action, it's a game changer. I promise you. And make sure you hit me up. I want to know when things start changing for you. Let's bring the beat back as we close. I love you guys. Thank you so much for rocking with your boy. The support means the world. Don't forget, drop that 5-star rating if you're enjoying. Actually, leaving a review and a comment means the world to you, boy. And make sure you check out freecreatorcode.com. Get the code that we live by here as creators. Get it into your soul. Get it into your system. I love you guys. Stay safe. And I will catch you tomorrow. God first. God bless.